What is up, fellow summoners? Welcome to the channel today. Happy Monday to you all. I recorded the Alliance War gameplay over the weekend. This is against RHS-2, a 13.8 million Alliance. War rating just under 2,500. Definitely going to be a difficult fight as we get higher and higher into these tiers. It just gets more difficult. Mystic Dispersion, maxed out 5-star characters are almost on every node. It's just a huge pain to deal with. So in light of that fact, I've decided to go ahead and try out Magic, switching up my team a little bit. The team you're looking at right there is the team that I think that I would like to run. However, the bleed node is open, so I go ahead and bring in Vision to deal with the bleed immunity. My Magic is just not getting very many kills for me right now on defense. She does not have Mystic Dispersion, so typically doesn't get put on any sort of power gain node, so she's a little bit defenseless, does a fairly good job of taking a good bit of health from the enemies, but I'm really not getting any kills with her. So I thought, at least for the time being, that I would test her out and find out if she wasn't actually better served on my offensive side. So yeah, it goes fairly well. I'll just leave it at that. We'll take it one fight at a time, starting here with the first aforementioned bleed node. I can see that it is a Mystic champ, expecting either this to be Mordo or possibly a Mystic Dispersion Juggernaut. I would be very surprised if this was Magic already, but then again, you never know. With a 13.8 million alliance, I'm sure everybody's running around with high-ranked Magic. So I decided to bring in Vision. At the very least, I can draw the fight out, make it a slow play, and I do have bleed immunity, don't have to worry about that. But as you can see, it is a Mordo, and Mordo for me is, he's not as difficult as he used to be, unless you run into a Mordo that just does not want to use his specials, and unfortunately, that is exactly what I run into here. I do bait out the S2 right there, but that's the last one for a while. I screwed up right there. I should have used my S1 and power drained him down below 1 bar of power there. If I would have done that, you know, I wouldn't push him into his S3 that he's about to get. I guess my thinking in the moment was I was trying to get to an S2 to be able to fully drain his power, but it just didn't work out for me. And then one thing here I want to point out, I've been having this issue with enemies using S3s as I come out of them. I'm trying to block, and there's nothing I can do. As I come up, as I'm standing, he's already on top of me, and I don't know what to do about that or what to think about it. You know, I don't know if that's a glitch. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't remember ever having so many issues with that in the past. But definitely, I have seen that happen a couple of other times. It's unfortunate because it took me from having minimal damage from the S3 to under half health by the time he uses S3 and a full 5-hit combo on me. Again, here, I'm doing my best, trying to get him to use an S2. I think I power drained him there with the S1. Had my defenses down and caught me. I was very, very fortunate once everything is said and done that I actually made it out of this fight. Got a, very timely intercept there with a light attack to finish him off. But, I mean, the object is to get out of the fight without using any items, and that ultimately is what I did. However, wasn't very happy that I'm only one node in and basically down a champ. So we will... we'll count ourselves lucky to have won that one, and we'll move on. So this node, in truth, I was probably expecting this to be some sort of a high-ranking Mystic Dispersion champ. So I'm going to bring in, I'm gonna bring in Magic here to try to lock him down with the S2. But actually, it turns out that it is Nightcrawler. Probably would have been better served bringing in Yondu here, but I don't know. It wasn't exactly who I was expecting. So ultimately, I'm just going to try and slow play this one and push him over into a swashbuckling, and thankfully I get it right away. That swashbuckling form, sometimes you can push him into it right away. Sometimes you'll get yourself killed trying to get him pushed into that. But yeah, really outside of that, once he is in swashbuckling, if you can get your parries on point, you should be able to make it out with minimal damage. I decided not to use my S2 because I can actually use his specials as opportunities to evade back and then attack him. And then also when I'm using the S1, because he has all of those buffs on him all the time, the S1 will nullify a buff and give additional damage, which you can see it ticks there for like 900 and something. So not bad at all. One other thing I found pretty comical here, right before I finish him off. Yeah, it's right here. I don't know what happened there. Limbo kicked in though and absolutely saved me. Yeah, I was at like half health and they saw that thing shoot back up. So yeah, thanks to Limbo. Otherwise, that fight would have looked much different coming out of it with under half health. But really, all I took was a little bit of chip damage from blocking. So yes, it's a very good start, very good showing for Magic. Pretty much we'll be using her from here on out. My goal is to use her now for the S2 unblockable node, for the stun immune node, and not use my Yondu at all until I get to the Thorns node. I want to have as much health in Yondu for that. So here on Unblockable S2, I'm expecting Doctor Strange or Hood. Those seem to be the two that I run into. And it is the Hood. And really trying to get it baited out here. Trying to get it baited out. There it is. You evade the first one, hold down block. When it comes to Hood, if you can bait out the first special, you typically are fine for the rest of the fight. However, it's just that very beginning, that first like 10 seconds, especially if they're running Mystic Dispersion. If you're evading back and you cannot get that S2 baited out, he does hit very hard in his S3 plus a bleed. And that pretty much is going to screw you up. So that in and of itself is the most difficult thing of Hood, is that first like 10 seconds of the fight, whether you can actually get him to use it or not. Once you do get it baited out, though, he is very aggressive with his S1. I find that he is pretty trigger happy with it. But really, ultimately, I've got my S2. I've got him power locked for the whole fight. So really, the only thing I'm trying to do is just focus on getting every single stun that I can, and not being overly aggressive, taking too many risks, I should say, and playing it pretty safe. So, yeah, 2 for 2 on Magic so far. Feeling pretty good about that one. And this next stun immune node, I am fully expecting this to be Dormammu. It seems like if somebody has got an awakened 5-star Dormammu, they're almost always putting him on this node. I won't say I'm having troubles with him, but he's just very difficult because he's got that degeneration that he puts on you when you evade back. So here, my thought is, you know what, there's no way that Yondu is going to get through this fight. If it is a Mystic Dispersion champ, I'm going to have somebody that can lock down with an S2. So I'm trying to debate whether I want to spend the 100 units or if I want to go to the Glory Store and pick up the health potion there. But ultimately, I'm just way too lazy and decide to spend the 100 units. And it's not a Dormammu. It is a Mystic Dispersion. What looks to be, I think that's a rank 3 Juggernaut. I don't think that's a rank 4. But either way, this fight goes fairly well. I tried to be a little bit over aggressive, and I was trying to practice with some of my intercepting. The animation for Magic and also Scarlet Witch, I think it's because I played Scarlet Witch so much, I feel fairly comfortable intercepting with her medium attack, that kick. So I do try to intercept quite a bit in this fight, which goes pretty smoothly for the first, I would say, like 75% of the fight. Down towards the end of it, though, he does catch me a couple times. But really, it's so nice having somebody that you know can totally lock down the fight. I'm not scared to evade back or, you know, worry about giving him power because I've got that S2 lockdown. Obviously, he does have some willpower, so he's got about, what, 53 health ticking back. You know, which overall through the course of the fight, I would say it probably added up to, I don't know, maybe 1,000 health, 1,200 health, something like that. So really not too terrible. But yeah, from here on out, I'm just spamming the S2, trying to be a little bit aggressive and push the fight with my intercepting. And I think I get a pretty good intercept coming in here. It seems like if you block, or excuse me, if you attack into the block, you evade back and come back in right away. Most of the time you can catch them. However, right there, he does clip me, and then I believe one more time he clips me. The end of this fight comes right down to it. But yeah, we get the S2. The Limbo is ticking for quite a bit of damage as well, which is really nice. Her S2 does hit fairly hard. I think in total that was a little over 10,000 damage, maybe 11,000 physical damage, then plus all of the Limbo that was ticking off. So yeah, right there, I really thought that I was in trouble there at the very end. I thought for sure he was going to take me down, but I guess he decided not to finish his combo. The Limbo kicked in, and we finished off the fight. So I'm actually feeling very, very good about that. You know, the unblockable S2, the stun immune, those make or break my runs right there. Those are by far the 2 most difficult nodes that I run into. So I'm feeling very confident now in my play style and my ability to take down a Thorns node with Yondu. We start this off. I see it as Iceman. It's a duplicated 5-star Iceman. From the looks of it, I think this is a rank 4. So really, I'm just trying to play it as safe as I can. Only doing a 4-hit combo to get 2 with the arrows. And yeah. That was 2 hits, both for almost 5,000 damage. Block damage there killed me, so I went from full health to dead in a grand total of 3 hits. Yeah, I was a little bit speechless after that. I thought for sure that I was going to be able to take him down. But it was one of those things. The writing was on the wall for us. It was actually a closer fight than I thought it was going to be. With a 13.8 million alliance, they're just very, very difficult. There's high-ranking 5 stars everywhere, Mystic Dispersion everywhere. So ultimately, it came down to exploration, and we were going to have to spend a lot of potions and things to get ourselves through that not just the Thorns node, but the Power Gain node and everything else. And ultimately, I think we decided it wasn't worth it. But as you can see there, we did both get 1 battle group cleared. Their defender rating, as you can see, is almost a full 100,000 points higher than us. So that just speaks to the amount of 5-star characters that they had in there. But overall, it was still really good testing. Really good kind of way to get some good gameplay footage on Magic. I believe I will be using her in the future. My plan is hopefully to be able to take my rank 4 5-star Winter Soldier and put him in place of Vision. Hopefully somebody else can take that bleed node so I don't have to bring in Vision, so I can have 2 5-star characters in Winter Soldier Magic, and then continue to bring in Yondu to deal with Thorns node until I can find some better solution for that. But yeah, Magic is an absolute monster. Great defender, underrated, definitely underrated Alliance War offensive character, so you will be seeing more footage of her in the future. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Until I see you all in the next one, have a great day.